the number one, and put where you're located, city or state, and then give me a number two. Thank you so much. So again, today we're going to be talking about why home care agencies and home health care agencies are becoming very, very, very attractive to investors, to the point where I'm going to share an article where they were talking about how many deals were made in home care, home health care in 2025, because we're at the beginning of 2026. Let me get that article up. And what that means for you, if you are a home care business owner, what does that mean for you if you're a home care business owner? Okay, so I've been sharing that the US population is aging fast. And by 2025, we will be not entering into what they're calling the senior tsunami, but we will be at the peak. We will be at the peak. And the reason why I keep reiterating this is because a lot of you are existing home care business owners. And when I do like a poll or something on the, when I do like a poll or something on the, like in a live or even like on one of my platforms, I will ask, are you struggling with starting your agency or are you struggling with getting clients? And some people are saying, hey, I'm struggling with getting clients. And then they may get discouraged and may feel like checking out. They may feel like checking out. And I'm going to tell you with this article I'm going to share. So it's like we've done news 2 times this week that private equity groups have researched the market better than you, better than a nurse, better than a CNA, better than a family caregiver. And this is why I'm always telling you, you have to do your market research. You have to know the lay of the land. And I don't know if some of you get it yet, but I'm going to repeat myself until it's crystal clear to you. The US population is aging fast. When they keep talking, you might even say, oh, they've been talking about baby boomers for a while. Well, guess what? The peak is set to hit 2030. Thank you so much for sharing the live. Actually, let's do that because we were on Tuesday sharing some very, very, very valuable information. And I didn't stop to really have you guys get enough people in here who would benefit from this information. Then I didn't ask you guys to share it out. I didn't ask you to like the live, but this is really, really, really important. And I can promise you, pinky swear, that out of all of the consultants, home care coaches on these various platforms, many of them are sharing good and valuable information. I look at some of them and I applaud them when they're sharing good and valuable information. Why? Because I remember I'm always saying this industry is full of gatekeepers. So when I see someone sharing, I'm like, I go support them. I might even go into someone's live and give them some gifts if it's on TikTok, or just like and share their information. I'm definitely about community over competition. And so, but there's still a lot of people who are confused. There's still a lot of people that are misinformed and haven't even heard of this senior tsunami. So if you're listening and you've never heard about the senior tsunami, this is the first time you've heard that term. that is researchable. Like you literally go on Google and research it. Give me the number one. Have you ever heard of the senior tsunami? Give me the number one. I'm not seeing. If you've ever heard of the senior tsunami, if you've ever heard that term, give me the number one. Of course, of course. I had someone coming to pick something up from my house right during my live. One moment, guys. I'm waiting. This, this is all of yeah, this is yeah. It's a big back. The back is the part that couldn't fit into my truck because the back is not as big wide as your mom's again. That's the head. And it's not heavy, it's just off. Yeah. So you'll see the I gotta go, no. Okay, okay. All right. Okay, sorry guys. Never heard of that. Okay, cool. All right, cool. All right. So I had a little intermission. I had a little commercial break. Okay. Okay, so let me break it down really quick because I wasn't planning. I was like, good. When they come right when I'm doing my live. Okay. So the US population is aging fast, and baby boomers are the largest senior population, right? And what they're saying is going to happen within the senior tsunami is that by 2030 there will be not no guessing at least 70 million. Can we put 70 million in the comments? 70 million individuals 65 and up. 70 million. And then we also broke that down and I showed you guys. I did a live research where people who are 75 and up will be about 32 million. Because some of you, I had to give you that second number because some of you may say, oh, Sean, well, people people are more healthy now. So, that doesn't necessarily mean that I'm going to be taking care of someone that's 65 and up. And I would say you're absolutely right. But here's the thing, here's a big myth buster within the home health care industry. We can literally take care of people all ages. But there is a big buffet coming in 2030. So I've been, that I won't reference that song, but I've been ringing the alarm trying to say, this is now the time to join. Now, my first job outside of right after I graduated from college, my first job after I graduated college is that I worked with stockbrokers. And my boss taught me a lot. She taught me a lot about mostly what I learned, and I really feel like it was a setup from God, how affluent people spend their money. Right? So I got to witness a lot of things, and I'll share that with you later. But, when the stock market goes down and stock prices drop, she told me one time, she said, it's like a Macy's day sale. It's like a Macy's sale. That's when you go buy more, right? And so that always stuck to me. That's when you go buy more. So, if you're not a smart investor, you might say, oh, I'm getting out of this thing, right? And that is what some home care business owners are doing. They're not seeing the numbers, they're not seeing the revenue, they're not seeing the profit that they would like. And so they're not really they're not willing to put in that equity, to put in that sweat equity, to put in that work to build their business up, right? But what happens, like, if you were the first person to buy um if you were the first person to buy Coca-Cola or Apple stock or Google stock, you know how much it's worth now? They always say if you would have put $100, $500 back into those stocks back then, how much how many millions you would be at right now. So that's what you have to that's my analogy for you if you are currently an existing home care business owner. I'm I just assisted someone in selling their business. And at closing, guys, at closing, she says, wow, I, I was listening to what they said that they were going to do, and I want to be a part of it. And now it's too late. It's too late to believe in your business when somebody else is saying, I'll take that from you. I'll take that from you. So I'm kind of going down a tangent because when I saw this article, I guess I'm going to share it. I'm like, it's in black and white for me, but I know for some of you, you can't see it yet. And I'm really just trying to paint the picture really good for you. I'm trying to paint the picture really good for you. That our industry, unlike other industries, is it's not transactional. And I've explained this before. So I have my previous hairdresser worked for the Red Door, and then he went on to start his own um, salon, like upscale salon, and the DMV. Long story short, he said when people's money is funny or the economy is down, people stop doing stop going to go get their hair done, stop going to get their nails done. You can see it right now on things like TikTok. They're like, and you know what, the mattress is by the door. Forgot to tell you. Yeah. And people stop going to get their nails done. You can see it all over TikTok right now. On TikTok, they're like, everybody's like, I would have spent $150 on getting this done. And now people are going to press on nails. So the reason why I referenced that is because a private equity advisor told me, she said, home health care is not transactional. When you go get your hair done, when you go get your nails done, when you go buy clothes or you go, that's a transaction. Private equity investors in general have been circling around, very, very interested in our industry because it's a needed service. It's not a transactional service. It's a needed service. Somebody put, I'm needed in the marketplace in the comments. I'm needed in the marketplace. Excuse me. I'm glad I saw you. Oh, same here. Thank you so much. Okay. So the US population is aging fast. Haven't you seen the term aging in place? Just in case she needs both of them, I would take both of them and that little rail that keeps him from falling. Sorry, guys. Like I said, I had a pickup that was supposed to happen 2 hours ago, like literally 2 hours ago. But I want to make sure that they get this quick, fast, and hurry. Okay, so U.S. population is aging fast. That's why you keep seeing aging in place programs. The aging in place programs are uniquely designed for us, right? Who ages in place? Who helps people age in place? Home care helps people age in place more than group homes, more than assisted living, right? Because group homes are taking you out of your home. Residential living is taking you out of your home. Assisted living is taking you out of your home. And nursing homes is taking people out of their home. So you got to grasp the concept that you are needed in the marketplace. No matter what you're going through, if you're like, oh, I just really haven't been able to like get my footing with getting clients. It's because honestly, it's because you're doing something wrong, and you need to accept that, and you need to hear from someone that wants you to succeed, not just someone that's trying to sell you something, not just someone that's trying to get you into their program or whatever like that. I get on here at least twice a week, and I'm always giving you guys free information. Some of you take it, some of you don't understand it, and don't even ask for understanding. You don't even like believe in yourself so much that you would say, you know what? Let me put myself out there. Let me. She asks people if they got a question. Let me put my question in a comment, or let me get up in a hot seat. And then the last part is that you don't even act on it. You don't even execute. You don't even execute. So when I say it's on you, I'm telling you it is on you. Uh-huh. And those skates. Okay.
I got everything.
Okay, thank you. See you later. Okay. Okay. All right. So let me read this part and then I'm gonna go to the article. The demographic shift is with the seniors, even realtors are looking at where can I put these seniors? Where can I put these seniors? Right? Because of the generation underneath the baby boomers or right after the baby boomers, they don't buy like the baby boomers. The baby boomers paid their bills, guys. So I always say, why would a baby boomer want to go somewhere when their house is paid off? Like these people have savings. These people were really, really good with their money. They got savings. Their houses are paid off. Because their houses are paid off, most of them couldn't even apply for Medicaid because they got so much equity in their home. Their homes have been paid off since the 1980s or something like that. They got so much equity in their home. Okay. So many private equity advisors are seeing home care as a needed service, not just transactional, because aging and chronic conditions aren't going away. Sorry. Oh, okay. Okay. Thanks. Okay. Again, sorry. I just gave away like a $700 crib to someone that needed it. And I'm like, they were just trying to make sure. Of course, my kids don't need that crib anymore. So I'm like, it was either going to storage. So, but that was come 2 hours ago. So sorry for the interruptions. I definitely didn't want that on the replay, but we're going, you guys know it's just, that's how the live is just going today. So we're going to roll with it. Okay. So when I told you to say I am needed in the marketplace, right? I want you to look at it the way a private equity investor or just an investor in general would look at it. This, because it's needed, it creates a predictable demand. Predictable demand, meaning I can expect people to get old. I know they said it's going to be 70 million people who will be over 65 by 2030. Now I just have to figure out products and services to sell to them. Products and services. All businesses are either a product or a service. A product, you're either a service-based business, getting your hair done, getting your nails done, home care service, or you have a product, or you got candles, you got totes, you got tumblers, you're selling food, whatever. So you're either two, right? So they have said that this is now predictable. Okay, these are predictable, and it's a large amount of people that we can predict how they're going to move because they're going to need help. And so that's why, number one, this makes this our industry is extremely attractive to investors. Investors see a growing a customer base over the next 4 or 5 years. And so this is where I'm about to show you the article. They see it. They're not waiting like some of you, and I'm not taking a cheap shot. They're not waiting like some of you. They are getting in place. They're getting in place. You know how like you put your money down on that cruise? Like you put your money down, you say, I want to go to that concert this year. You say, I'm going on a trip, the vision board, whatever it is, they are getting in place. So you got to ask yourself, why aren't you? Okay, let me go to this article. And this article is called Deal Making. Come on now. In home care. Come on now. Do. Share. And while I'm about to get ready to share, I want to tell you guys that this is my only account on TikTok, Savvy Business Chick. I don't have any dots or I don't have any underscores or gaps in my name. So if somebody reached out to you while I'm talking about investing and they say, hey, you want to invest in crypto? That's not me. I'm never, ever going to ask you for any kind of money in your DM. I'm not going to do that. Right? You will get a call where you will actually talk to me, and or you will go to my website. Like I actually have a website, and then I have these other platforms, but I don't do anything with crypto. Okay, here. Okay. So okay. All right. So even though it says deal making and home care slows down, let me get to the point. So it says after several months of, sorry, it's kind of messy here. After several months of deal making uncertainty, essentially, let me wipe this off. Essentially, they were waiting to hear what it was more so on the Medicare side for the home health agencies. Now that the payment rule has been released, they're now investors are a little bit more confident in what's going to happen in 2026. So that's how it starts out. So don't be fooled by the initial title, because it's saying it's basically saying now that the uncertainty was sparked by the proposed cuts, but now that the final rule has paved the way for greater investor confidence. Now they're about to get started. So meanwhile, while they were actually waiting for these Medicare, the payment rule, they started doing a whole bunch of non-medical home care acquisitions, right? It says the non-medical home care industry reported a strong quarters in deal making, right? So there are a number of highly acquisitive sponsor-backed portfolio companies. You see that? Portfolio companies, these are private equity companies in the space that are gearing up to exit in 2026. Means maybe they're looking to scoop up a few more companies onto their platform to add additional cash flow before going to market. Okay. Look at this. And that's just what I'm going to stop reading. We are seeing elevated interest in private duty home care from strategic acquirers who are looking to diversify their payer mix. Okay. They're looking to diversify their payer mix, and how they say that private duty services are dramatically in demand in the pediatric space, right? So now they're going to be looking for pediatric agencies. And then they just talk about how one of the largest deals was a 7.4 million. This is a non-medical home care agency that sold for 7.4 million. It was a Texas-based agency. You guys always think that the money is always in home health. It's not. It is absolutely, positively not. Why? For the very reason of what I'm sharing with you is that there's more, there are more people because of the senior tsunami to serve in a non-medical home care agency. All right, thank you for making the live, Tiffany. Yay. Okay. Making sure I don't miss some of you guys. Okay. All right. So if you're just joining us, again, let me know where you are watching me from. And we're talking about why private equity companies, investors, why are they buying up home care agencies, and what this means to the market and what it should mean to you. And as you are joining us, please let me know where you're watching from. And if you are an aspiring home care business owner, put the letter A. If you are an existing home care business owner, put the letter E. Thank you. Okay, so I only read part of the article, and here is me breaking it down to you guys. Break it down. Break it down. Break it down. Right? Because this is how you start smart. You want to start smart. Okay, South Carolina B. Okay. If you want to start smart, put it in the comments. Start smart. Start smart. Right? All right. So me, myself, and I have a background in international business. And so one of the classes I took was macroeconomics. Another class I took is microeconomics. Essentially, my macroeconomics, for those of you who didn't take that class, that is where you get the term supply and demand, right? So in this case, the demand would be the rising amount of seniors that are in these various states. Because remember, it's 70 million, but what you need to be thinking about is how many is going to be in my state? How many is going to be in my county? How many is going to be in my service area, right? And that's for you to do that due diligence. Some of you get started, and because of your passion, because of your genuine, very, very, very genuine love for helping people, you miss the business part, right? You skip over what the boring part, right? Which is the business part of finding out, am I actually providing a service that's needed? Or am I just on these Facebook groups doing cookie cutter services, looking like a cookie cutter agency, right? So macro, macro, from the macroeconomic perspective, what's going to happen with the senior tsunami is not a short term event, right? So it's expected to peak. Like this is the first peak. And have you ever noticed how like the first peak is always the hardest or the biggest? It's almost like the first wave, or Sade has a song, it's never as good as the first time, right? So this is the first tsunami. So the other ones may not be it, maybe the wave may not be as high. So why that's why we definitely want to take advantage of getting started or getting in position. So if you are a aspiring home care business owner, you put the letter A, you need to get started. You don't need to wait. You need to put some money aside every check. You need to really put some smart goals in action, and you just need to make it happen. No more putting other people first. No more OPP, other people's priorities. Other people's priorities should not go above yours in 2026. You should not be down with OPP, in my opinion. Right? I'm calling it OPP. Other people's priorities, right? Oh, can you help me do this first? Oh, can you they I'm going to get the kids to do this first. No. But don't wait till the kids are graduated to put your business on. Do it now. I'm starting out and I'm so scared. I get it. I get it. And sometimes you guys are scared because you want everything to be perfect. And I'm going to tell you, perfect is the enemy of done. Perfect is the enemy of done, right? Look at a, what is it now? A $1 trillion company. Who's a $1 trillion company, Sean? Apple. If you own an iPhone, um, if you own an iPhone, put a 3 in the comments because I haven't said the number 3. If you own an iPhone, put a 3 in the comments. If you own an iPhone, this is a $1 trillion company. Do you know that $1 trillion company is the most sells us the most imperfect products all the daggone time? We are now at iPhone 17, which the bugs in 16 or 15 still hasn't been fixed. They just move on. They just move on. Okay, that's what you mean. They sell imperfect. They sell us imperfect products, and then they just move on, right? But their business is valued at $1 trillion now. Okay, so don't don't wait to have all of your ducks in order. Okay, all right. So from a macroeconomic perspective, and I'm giving you guys a little bit of teaching. I had someone from Duke University contact me yesterday, and I said, okay. I had Howard University contact me, and I went up there and taught at their business school. I'm open to teach at a university. I'm open to teach at a university this year. They don't teach. They don't teach this. They teach healthcare administration. Essentially, they teach you how to work for someone else. They don't teach you how to own and operate your own business. From macro perspective, this is not a short-term trend. So that means when it happens, when the boom happens, it's not going away. So so you need to get in position, or you need to You need to get in position if you're existing, and you need to start. Okay. Um, so in every state, I get this term where people say, it's so saturated in my state. It's so saturated. I want to tell you what's happening when you feel like your industry is saturated. You've lost the ability to be able to look for your opportunity. You've lost the ability to be able to look for your opportunity. So, with that number I just gave you, 70 million, you need to find out how many seniors are in your state. That's your assignment tonight. Can you guys do that? If you can do that, give me some hearts or put a yes in the comment. You need to find out how many seniors in your state. One of the reasons why you feel like it's oversaturated because you have actually walked into the law of awareness, right? The law of awareness is if you say, I want to get a G Wagon, if I want to get this kind of car, all of a sudden you're going to start seeing that car more. The moment you decide you want to start a home care agency, a home health care agency, it's almost like your reality algorithm now brings these things to you. It's pretty kind of almost like an algorithm, but it's in real life. So that means you just start saying, I didn't even notice there was an agency here. I never, you see a car driving by and it's wrapped. And so then you start to feel like, oh, so I'm not unique. So I'm not special. So this isn't like something I just thought of. And so you feel like it's oversaturated and for some reason your mind wants to protect you from anything new and keep you in your comfort zone. So it's going to say, yeah, so maybe you shouldn't do that. And then you have your friends or a family member or a spouse or a significant other that's going to say, yeah, maybe you shouldn't. And they're just going to not push you forward, but keep you back where you're not going to build wealth, where you're not going to be the first generation that becomes a millionaire. You they're just going to tuck you in the back and just say, that was nice. That was a really good dream. That was a really good thought. And now get back to what you're doing because you're really, really good at that. And that's where it's safe, right? And so what you got to do is resist, 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 right? You have to resist. I can tell you my own personal story. When I first got started, that my mentor was not the nicest person. Actually, today's her birthday. I just thought about it. Today's her heavenly birthday. She was not the nicest person. What do you mean? Literally met this person in church, but because she was a business woman, she was a bit direct, assertive, and a little bit crude, right? So if you didn't have a tough chin or thick skin, you might have took some of the things she was saying a little personal, right? But she was a great nurse, and then she became a excellent. She transitioned to be an excellent businesswoman. So with that, you have to. So when I started working with her, and when she started mentoring me, I had family members that were trying to discourage me from working with her. Oh, yeah, you really shouldn't work with her. Uh, she did this and she did that. And I had to make a decision to not listen to them. After God had told me, hey, you're going to own a business, right? And I believed God's version of what was going to happen more than I believed my family members or my friends. So I proceeded even through a couple of trials, right? prior to getting my first 2.3 million in business. Because remember, I said my first year, I felt like I was underwater. So when you tell me you're struggling, you can't get clients, I had clients, but I really felt like I was struggling, guys. How did you feel like you're struggling to the point where I didn't even realize that we had made like 300 and something K in the first year with 3 clients? So by the time we got to 2.3, by the second year, it was a total surprise to me. I've said this before. It was a total surprise to me that because I had gotten one client that was an insurance client and they didn't pay me for 4 to 6 months. And I was like so glad that I was living below my means. I was glad I was living below my means because that was the only way I was going to survive that. And then it took off. So if it happened to me, I know it can happen to you because I am you nearly 20 years ago. I've been through just about everything that you have gone. This is what makes me a mentor. That's why I always say, I've said it before it became popular. I said, I am a mentor. I'm not a coach. And no jabs against a coach, but I am you 20 years ago. So I'm trying to say, hey, I fell right there. So you want to walk over this way. I didn't do this. So you want to do this and you want to do this like this, right? And that's one of the key differences. There are a lot of amazing people out here. And like I said, I will give them their roses and everything like that. But that's what you're going to get from me. You're going to get that kind of guidance. Okay. So let me go back to why this is important. Okay. So the recent data shows that from that article that deal making in home care is it actually was more prior to the government trying to readjust the Medicare payments. But the fact is it exists. And it exists so much where it exists so much that people are not paying attention to the why are they buying it, right? Why are these people who are not healthcare professionals, who are, financial advisors per se, buying it up? In non-medical home care, there were deals in 2020, in late 25. Let me see, it says they were buying people who had diverse payer mixes. Okay, so that was a key point I wanted to. So what does that mean? Okay, guys, remember I wrote a ebook last year after sharing and sharing and sharing, and one particular broadcast where I shared how I have clients with multiple payers. Like one client can have 3 payers, right? One client may have 2 payers. And people were like, how did that happen? And I would be like, oh, they had Medicaid. They had a separate respite company that paid me whenever they got respite. I had some people who have VA benefits paying me and Medicaid at the same time. Then because I started my first agency was a pediatric home healthcare agency, then I also maybe got paid for Medicaid and a healthcare government contract at the same time. And so I talked about layering your reimbursement. And I said, okay, I'm going to put it all in my ebook. And so I put that in my ebook. I put it out there and I said, here's where you can find the information. Here are all of the ways you can get paid, and here's how it's done. That's still on my website. That's still available to you. Okay. So these investors are looking for people who are not single-minded. So you cannot be single-minded, AKA you cannot be Medicaid heavy. I want you to put that in the comments. I will not be Medicaid heavy. I will basically, you don't have to put the whole thing. I don't want you to be have one log in a fire. You need to have 2 to 3, preferably 4. You don't need to have one log in a fire. Sean, I tried to get contracted with the VA, but they put me on a waiting list. Guess what? It took me, your girl, 12 to 18 months to get approved through the VA. 12 to 18 months to get approved through the VA. You guys let things stop you. You guys let things stop. You let the first no stop you. One of my mentees she has agency in Arizona in March of last year, submitted an application. We don't need any new providers right now. We'll put you on a waiting list. Check back. We check back in the summer. Still the same thing. And I think in December, beginning of December, hey, submit your paperwork. We need you now. So see how that wait list works? You got to keep moving forward. You got to keep moving forward. You give up too fast. And shame on you if you're giving up on your own business. It's yours. Only person that can fire you from your business is you. Okay? All right. Okay, so here's one piece of data. The 2026 home healthcare payment rule ended with only a 1.3 reduction in payments. They thought it was going to be much more, like 3 to 5%, versus the larger cuts originally proposed, which assures investors in the broader home care ecosystem that it's now safe to invest in home care agencies and home care and home health care agencies again. And regulatory uncertainty, because we are a regulated industry. Also, that was an area of uncertainty, and investors do not like uncertainty. Okay. This is why you have to do the research. I'm always telling you guys, market research. You need the data so you can make a decision. So when the investors were looking at the data, they felt like, okay, we can't really make too many moves off this. And remember, smart. If you start smart, you are playing chess. If you're not starting smart, I'm definitely not going to say starting dumb or silly. You're playing checkers. This is why you guys tell me I'm all over the place. So are you when you're playing checkers. When checkers, you all over the place. Jump, 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 jump. Playing chess, you have strategic moves. You have strategic moves. Right? So an investor, someone outside of your industry, is willing to wait to see what's going on and to say, I need more information. This looks good. I know this could work. I just need a little bit more information. Right? But here's the difference. Some of you absolutely don't act. So I'm not saying that, wait and don't act. Some of you wait and never, and wait and wait and wait and wait. And then when the opportunity opens, you're not ready to move. You're not ready mentally. You're not ready financially. You're just not ready because you weren't expecting that opportunity to open back up so fast. And one definition of poor, guys, is passing over opportunities repeatedly. Right? And the opportunity doesn't come back the same way. It doesn't come back the same way. It could be a different person now that you got to build the relationship with, or it could be, oh, I wanted a healthcare government contract, but somebody else got that, and the next one doesn't come up for another 2 years, for another 4 years. So now you can only do the traditional other payers. Okay. Let me go back over why private equity groups see home care as needed services, not transactions. Private equity advisor, literally after church one day, a private equity advisor said, Sean, I know you work with home care, home health care agencies. Do you know anybody that's selling? And I was like, maybe. I know somebody is selling. Okay. And I said, well, just curious, what makes you, and she works for Fidelity, right? The wealth equity department. And she said, I said, what makes you interested in home care? And that's when she said, you know, home care doesn't go out of style, right? It's not, it's trending, but it's not trendy. Home care doesn't go out of style. People don't start and people don't stop needing help at home just because the economy shifts. Can I repeat that for you guys? People don't stop needing help just because the economy shifts. Just because you see what's going on in Minnesota and they're doing Medicaid cuts um and removing multiple providers who committed Medicaid fraud, care is still needed. Somebody's getting paid. Somebody is still getting paid. And if you don't know how to listen to the news and read the news, you will think the world is ending and it's coming crashing down on our industry. But that's not the case. All of this clearing up fraud, I've been telling you guys, and I can only say I feel it's more prophetic than it is, factual right now. But I do believe it's going to that it's because the government is preparing for the senior tsunami. They don't want a lot of excess payments and fraud when the senior tsunami comes because they're going to have more people in the system to pay for. Yes, it's definitely a great industry to pursue. So remember, your takeaway is that you need to position yourself as a necessary. Your services are necessary, not optional. And if you can, you need to stay in place, hold your place as the senior tsunami is going to be happening. Okay. Okay, let me address a couple of things that's also happening in the marketplace that has to do with the macroeconomic factors. Okay. We are in high demand and we're going to reach the peak in 2030. All right. A little bit after COVID, we start hearing caregiver shortage, right? We start hearing that. The very, very first time we've heard caregiver shortage. We've always heard nursing shortage. We've always heard nursing shortage. For the very first time, we've heard caregiver shortage. And this is kind of a testament that the supply is not catching up with the demand. The demand is rising and the supply is not catching up with the demand. So someone may say, well, Sean, doesn't that make it not good to start this kind of industry? One of the things, this kind of business, one of the things I do like about the non-medical home care industry is that we can train our workers. If you paid attention to any of your regulations, if you have a non-medical home care agency, we're responsible for training. We got to make sure they have certain things in their training when we're onboarding them. If you have a home health agency, then you're using a licensed practical nurse or a licensed vocational nurse or a registered nurse, and they already have their training and certification. So you don't have to worry about that, right? So there is technically a caregiver shortage and then a aging population explosion, and that is going to now start affecting the wages. So if you're like, oh, yeah, every time I hire someone, or trying to interview, or someone, they're asking for more and more money. Yes, expect it, because that's what happened with the nurses. The caregivers, the ones that are good, are going to start. They have noticed that there are not a lot of good caregivers, good CNAs, good home health aides, and they're going to start demanding higher rates. And this is why you can't afford to be Medicaid heavy, because Medicaid's not going to pay you like that. Medicaid's not going. I told one of my mentees, Medicaid don't pay overtime. When you submit your claim, you can't add time and a half. Medicaid don't pay you overtime. Medicaid don't pay holidays. So where are these agencies getting the extra money? From their other payers. You have to be more profitable with your other payers so that you can cover those expenses when they come, if they come. All right. Another thing you should know, this is a macroeconomic factor, that not all markets are created equal, right? Just to be clear, right? Just so you guys, your urban areas are considered saturated, but guess what? They are more so saturated with Medicaid, like your Medicaid uh, recipients. This is why someone gets on and they say, I'm in Philadelphia and the MCOs are not contracting. You're right. You're absolutely right. They're not contracting right now. So you need to go to a different area. You need to pivot, right? Don't get stuck on the one thing you thought was certain as soon as you got licensed. And if you were doing your research, that would not deter you anyway, right? Urban areas are also a little bit more competitive, because larger agencies have been in the urban area longer than you. They have more marketing dollars than you. You guys go and spend the money that you need for marketing on an office space. You go spend it on an office space when a larger agency is consistently putting out ads and doing strategic marketing. A lot of rural areas. I was on earlier this week with a beautiful nurse. I'm not sure if she's up here. I think she calls herself Mom Boss on TikTok. She said that she bought an agency in Texas, and she bought an agency. But here is the thing: even if you buy an agency and the agency comes with contracts and contacts, you're going to either buy an agency with contracts or contacts. Put that in a comment. Contracts or contacts. Guess what? As soon as they find out that it's a new owner, you have to go back and you have to now go and establish a new rapport with them. Otherwise, they're not guaranteed to give you the business that they gave to the previous owner. They like the previous owner. They don't know you. This industry is built off of trust. Can I trust you? Are you going to do what you said you're going to do? And a lot of you are trying to build that trust online only, and that's why it's not working. So urban areas are considered you will say it's saturated, but it's actually just competitive. And if you don't have the stomach for it, you are going to feel overwhelmed. You're going to feel vexed, frustrated by having to compete with people that's been there longer than you and are willing to outmarket you. Some of you may only show up every other week, if that. Then you have the rural areas that are underserved. You guys, my first 24-hour, 7-day-a-week private pay client was in a rural area. I knew nothing about it. But guess what? I was going to learn. I was open to that opportunity, and that's why that opportunity lasted me 8-9 years until that client passed away. So imagine having a 24-hour, 7-day a week private pay, weekly pay client for 8-9 years. That's good money. That was a good client that didn't cause me any problems. Okay. So the opportunities are there if you know how to market and you know how to staff. Put that in the comments. The opportunities are there if you know how to do two things really, really good. Now, if you're listening, know how to market. That means bringing a business, and know how to staff. That is supplying the business. I just gave you a little lesson on macroeconomics, supply and demand. Okay. I got the demand. I know how to market to get them, and I supply them with the services or the service provider they need. In my home care Kickstarter program and my next step program, we talk about niches, or as they may say, niche. Niches mean riches. There's riches and niches. So we definitely make sure that everyone, by the time they end the next step or the Kickstarter program, that they have a niche in dementia care, a niche in post-surgical care, and whatever, because I will dump the different kinds of niches that I think will work best in their state or in their county. And then we develop our pricing strategy for that. Some of you are just trying to charge high for general services, and that's not even how the stores do it, right? So, if we take something as simple as water, isn't alkaline water more than spring water, more than purified water? Are you guys getting that analogy? You see that analogy? So you're trying to price everything the same when it should never have been the same. How much is Georgian home care license? Depends on if you're doing nursing or just personal care. Okay. If you're an existing home care business owner, one of the things you definitely need to do or redo is set your prices wisely. This is going to be really, really essential to you picking up new business or revamping your existing business. Okay. You need to look at your cost structure. You need to look, I'm doing some likes here. Look at and or understand your client's budget. So one of my mentees recently charged a new non-skilled private pay client $37.50. Right? She stood her ground on her rate because the client only wanted a certain amount of hours. You only want a certain amount of hours? I'm gonna be within your budget, but I'm gonna charge you for it. I'm gonna charge you for the value that I'm giving you. I'm gonna charge you for the stress that I'm relieving. I'm gonna charge you for the services I'm providing. You also need to look at what your competitors are charging. Most agencies only use hourly pricing, right? They do any, meeny, miny, mo. I think this price will go. Right? hourly rates seemingly are easy to quote and to adjust, right? That's why you always feel like you got to offer a discount, but you really need to know how to price your services so that you don't have to offer a discount. We did not mention any term. We did not mention the word discount when we were closing with this recent client. Okay. Lastly, there was just a couple of pointers I wanted to address. Um, in some parts of the U.S., there are, to me, a lot of franchises, and the competition seems kind of cookie cutter because everyone kind of looks the same. Everyone is kind of offering the same services. They charge the same. And with that, clients get overwhelmed. You don't stand out. They don't really know how to choose between your agency and another. Um, so that's another reason why you have to do good market research so that you show your difference, what makes you different from another agency without kind of like going side by side and matching up with them. Some of you, if you are working the case, you sometimes price according to the bills that you have to pay. And the only things you should be really worried about is your fixed costs, like your rent, your insurance. Um, the variable costs are wages. I've already said before, you should pay yourself. If you're working the case, you should pay yourself the price that you would pay a caregiver for that case. Um, then the other things that change are like your marketing, whether you're paying for training, any kind of onboarding on your staff. You're not really making as much money as you could because you're not really coming up with a cost structure and profitability for each client. Once I intake a client and I learn what they need, and I'm trying to fit them into a program, whether it's a general program or a specialty program, then right there you should already have your margins. Um, I can go as low as this and as high as that for this client. I can pay out as low as this or as high as that for a worker. Which state are you asking if they pay for training? So I'm actually gonna kind of stop here and take some questions just because I have to go do a pickup soon. Let me see. Did I miss any questions below? Let's see, questions below. I am in the DMV. That's DC, Maryland, Northern Virginia. Okay. Do we get your mentorship with the $20 a month program? Okay. So I have a membership. That's my membership. It's called the Home Care Millionaire Society. And the Home Care Millionaire Society, you can join for as low as $20.26. I'm getting this question right now, so I want to answer it. What's all included? You get, number one, only join the Home Care Millionaire Society if you are an existing home care business owner. I'm not giving out any tips, any strategies that are for people who are not licensed. That's not for you. It and you will get kind of bored because it's nothing for you to do because you're not licensed. This is for people who are trying to get to their first million in business. I've already kind of laid that out. You are an existing home care business owner, you're trying to get to your first million in business. So each month we have a theme helping you to grow your business and helping you to get some things in your operation and your leadership style developed. So at the $20.26 level, you get email sent to you with exactly what you're supposed to do. It's January. This is what you should be doing week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4. We have a WhatsApp group. You're able to post questions in the WhatsApp group. In the WhatsApp group, if you ask a question, you have myself looking at those questions and able to I'll answer them. I'll take the bulk of the Q&A, the questions in the WhatsApp group, and do like a mini video for the month. Hey, this is what you guys are have been asking. Here's how we can address that. Last night we were supposed to have a website flyer and brochure audit. So what I end up doing, because people didn't show up on time, and guess what? You haven't reached your first million. I've already reached my first, my second, my third, my fourth, my fifth, my sixth, my seventh, my eighth. You haven't reached your first million. So how dare you don't show up on time, and how dare you not participate? So after 15 minutes of waiting for people, I ended the Zoom, and I sent out a pre-recorded video like 15 minutes later. Nope, not going to waste my time. Not in 2026. Not going to waste my time in 2026. So you have to really, really decide if you want to be a part of that membership, because that membership is designed to help you not have to pay $2,000. I've had 5 people tell me between this month and from October, companies that's trying to charge them $2,000 just to give you guys what I gave you in the first month, your marketing strategy for the entire month. That's specific to home care, home health care. So if you want more mentorship, right? That you're in a live session, then you should join. If you're not yet licensed, you should join the Kickstarter program. If you're already licensed, you should join the Next Step program. We meet every Monday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's the one you should join. And then the last one, which I don't promote as much, is my one-on-one monthly for people who are already licensed, and that's my Home Care CEO. And that's people who are already licensed. You're a little bit more advanced in that one. So if you want one-on-ones, then you would do the home care CEO. So hopefully I answered your question, Regina. I do recommend some specific software for your operations. I have a resource. I think if you click the link in my bio, I have like resources. That's a blog that I wrote of different software that you should look into. Maryland and Virginia. I physically operated in Maryland and Virginia and almost got into DC, but I'll tell you guys that story later. I was connected to someone that they did not want to deal with. So, and help to license and grow in 30 states. I have mentees in Pennsylvania, Indiana, Texas, Georgia, Maine, Massachusetts, Vermont, Connecticut, New Jersey, North Carolina, South Carolina, Florida, Illinois, Ohio, California, Arizona, New Mexico, Omaha, Idaho, Kentucky, Kansas, Oregon, and I'm just trying to scan the map. How much is the Kickstarter program? It depends on if you are a skilled or unskilled agency. I'll put the link in the comments. It depends on if you're skilled or unskilled. It's actually on my website. If you go to www. I don't know why this is freezing up. SavvyBusinessChick.com. You can see the link. And we do offer payment plans, right? We do offer payment plans. We offer payment plans for the Kickstarter and for the next step. Yeah, I mentioned Ohio. I like the non-medical in Florida. I have mentees that are a homemaker companion agency, a non-medical home health agency. So Florida has two part for the home health. They have the traditional home health agency that's Medicare certified, and then they have the home health that's non-medical, where you can apply for Medicaid and various things, and then the nurse registry. Those are the different licenses we do in Florida. And yeah, so you can, if you're interested in that, Florida is good. For Florida, it's a retirement state. So it's good business in Florida. I'm gonna post it because for some reason my screen is freezing on for YouTube. So if you guys can still hear me. What do I think about accepting a client without a service authorization? Are you saying accepting a Medicaid client without a service authorization? I would leave it alone, because then if you are a licensed agency in a regulated state, then you are taking on liability that you don't need, right? And there is not a guarantee, it's not a guarantee that you will get repaid. It's not a guarantee you get repaid. This is my second year having non-medical. What monthly plan would you suggest? The next step goes all the way to 3 years. I mean, I have someone that has 100 clients in the next step, but the thing is that she's one payer mix. She doesn't have any operations. The people that she's worked with before didn't really teach her. She taught herself stuff more than they taught her. And then within our 10-15-minute call, I told her more things to do than she's known in her first, this is like going into her third year. So the next step can go up to 3 years. I would not do it if you are older than that, because by then it's like a developmental thing. You should have your foundations. Some people don't have foundations because when they got started, they may have worked with someone who said they do mentorship, they said they do training, they said they do coaching, but they did not, right? You can definitely do private duty nursing as an RN without registering in Florida, because essentially private duty nursing is the client paying you directly. The only thing you do not want to do is hire someone else to work underneath you, even even if you have a business license, even if you have an LLC, and you're like, well, they're under my LLC, because now you are acting as an agency, and these states take that very seriously. They got the regulations in place. They don't want you acting as an agency. And I've spoken to people and they said, I've been doing this for 7 years. I've been doing this for 8 years. And I always say, I believe you. And I also believe coming. The day is coming where you're gonna get caught. And what you don't have to and what you need to understand is that these regulatory boards, they play the long game. They are willing to play the long game. They're willing to play the long game. I might have to post it later, guys, because for some reason it keeps yep, we help with how to gain clients. I posted, Rhea, I'm just seeing your message. I posted, I have found that video where one of my mentees 3x tripled her income, her business revenue within 3 months. She did my home care marketing boot camp, which I normally do. I do the main one in the fall, and then we have a business summer school. But she did the marketing boot camp. It's mostly in the fall. The marketing boot camp is now the home care playbook. So if you've seen that on my website or my links, that's essentially what she did. And in the state of Pennsylvania, was like many of you waiting for the MCOs to give her a contract. And she saw my post and she decided, hey God, this is my last try at this. And she just knocked it out. Now she's doing 100% private pay. Like she says, you know what? Now that I've had private pay, I don't even want. So she's already over $1 million after 1 year of doing that. After 1 year of doing that. So she changed her strategy, she changed her excuses, and she changed her business revenue. Queen Blessing, it depends. Because I understand your question, but I don't understand for what. Have a contract nurse for what? To hire your own nurses for what? Where are you located? I need to know a little bit more information. Correct. What other services can you bill for Medicaid in Ohio besides homemaker and personal care? I would apply for that chore services. I would apply for that chore services. They got a chore services waiver. I would do that one. And then get on with the MCOs. I mentioned chore services to someone, and just in case you're having like a delayed response. And they were like, I don't want to do chore services. You and or your workers don't have to necessarily do chore services. The state allows you to subcontract. So what if your client has a lot of debris in their front yard? And you can get somebody to help remove it, clear their walkway. Chore services could be for someone that's a hoarder and doing some heavy organization. You guys, I need you to think outside of ADLs. Think outside of ADLs. Think outside of ADLs. I recently got connected with Maddie Gaffney. I did not know her, but I like the things that she says, just like how like how I'm always telling you guys, if I'm going to support people who I feel like are genuine in the marketplace. And one of the things she teaches is how to house homeless vets. Like I've been seeing that a lot on her page, right? And she has reiterated in like 3 videos recently. She said, you get paid for housing them, but you really get paid for servicing them. She was like, it's the service that you're getting really paid for. Because you know why? Because the services are every day. You only get paid one time for lodging them. And I think people get so caught up in, I have a house. I want to put somebody in the house. I have a house. I want to decorate the house. I have a house. I want to have my own facility. Blah, blah, blah. You get so caught up into the house and to the facility when you don't realize the real way people are making money is the services underneath home care. That's why I said, y'all ain't gonna try to convince me that home care ain't the MVP of this whole industry. It's the services. It's not just getting them into the home. And the people be like, oh, my group home makes $100K a month. That is 1000% true. But then it's home care agencies making 7 and 8 figures a year. So a 100K a month is just 1.2. That one agency, 1.2. And although that is good, that ain't home care money. I think I'm gonna coin that. That ain't home care money. Home care money got you eating right. Home care money got you eating right. I got way too many songs in my head because I grew up and I went to college in the late 90s, and for some reason I had that Lil' Kim song in my head. Got you eating right, got you living right. Oh, okay, yep. I just answered that. I'm going to do a video, Tiara, the $1 Million Program. I'm confused of what we get. Is it just emails? Are we supposed to be on Zoom? Yes. We get, if you're at the diamond level, we have a Zoom once a month. And I just shared last night, nobody showed up after 15 minutes. So how am I supposed to do website audits? How am I supposed to do brochure audits? How am I supposed to do flyer audits if, number one, I send out an email and I say, send me your flyer, your brochure, your website in advance so I can review them. Nobody does. And I said, okay, I'll just let people share their screen. Then I show up. Out of the 33 people, 3 people join. Nobody talking. I say, send me. Does that sound right to y'all? Does that sound like that's after 15 minutes? Tell me, because I know plenty of people that would have loved to jump on a Zoom with me last night to get their website audited, to get their flyers audited, I was willing to do 1 to 2 platforms. I could have did a social media and a flyer, your website and a brochure, and giving you a real live audit so you can upgrade it. And nobody showed up. So that's why I said, not today. I will do a pre-recorded video. And then you guys aren't using the WhatsApp group. You don't post any questions in the WhatsApp group. The WhatsApp group is supposed to be the Q&A. I only wait 10 minutes for any Zoom. I waited 15 minutes. And I said, this is not a good use of my time. This is not a good use of my time. Y'all don't even know the kind of deals I did this week with people who are serious, making some serious moves. And I'm like, God, this don't seem right. This don't seem right. You told me to do these for these people. I sent out a whole marketing strategy for January. I have yet to know from the WhatsApp group who's done it, who needs help with it, who has questions. So It's not, that's not, I when I go places with people who are more successful than me, one thing I don't do is I don't waste their time. I don't waste their time. I don't waste their money. I show up. I show up. Mm-mm. No way. Not when somebody's ready to give. Will the playbook? I don't have a blueprint. Will the playbook work in any state? Absolutely. What state are you in? And I'm going to do a a, um, a welcome video because you're like the second or third person that asks. Alabama? Yes. Alabama. Okay, so in the home care marketing playbook or the home care playbook that love love my Aaron Arion, it's asking, yeah, it covers 8 to 10 training videos and then the workbook. The workbook breaks down how you really come up with your marketing strategy. So this is something I poured out from here because I'm always telling you guys how to do your market research, how to do that. And I just basically put it in workbook form. Okay, so this is what you should be looking for to me to answer, and now apply it to how to market to someone with Parkinson's. Now apply it to going to an assistant living. Now apply it to going marketing your business online. So that's how it goes. And I really appreciate that. So guess what? TR, send me an email with something you want me to review, and I will send an email and I will give you my feedback. You don't have the information. It was the the date was sent out. It was also posted on social media, and then the Zoom link was posted in the morning. So I appreciate you asking. I have no, it's not, so it's the, so what you get and what you get on the emails is your strategy for the month. The WhatsApp group is how we communicate, right? Because I don't get on live Zooms with you guys. Only if you're in the Diamond Club do you get a Zoom a month, right? But the WhatsApp group is where you can post questions all the time and we can have some genuine engagement. But again, nobody's talking. So I do one-on-ones. The marketing playbook is a one-time fee. The marketing playbook is a one-time fee. And I think you could use Klarna or Afterpay to pay for it if you can't pay for it directly. So please send me an email. Do you know where to send me an email at TR? And I'll do it for you because I genuinely wanted to do it last night. Like my son wanted me to read a bedtime story, and I said no. I said I have a Thursday class because I used to do all of my. I used to do live Zooms that people would pay to join every Thursday. And it was called like Drop In Thursday or something like that. And I would have a different subject where I would be teaching because it's kind of hard to teach on TikTok or on YouTube or Facebook because I don't get real time interaction. I see your questions slowly. So I said, I'm definitely doing it for my Diamond Club. And you guys get more than the general members. So if you're in the Diamond Club, send me an email. who was messing with me? Okay. Because my computer is running slow, the Home Care Millionaire Society, again, it's if you are already licensed, that's $20.26. And if you do the Diamond Club level, it's $97 a month. It's $97 a month. Um, if you need help with marketing, because Keisha, a lot of people are either in two categories. Sean, I'm licensed, but I need help with clients. Now, if you say I need help with clients, that is a singular problem. You're not saying I need help with operations. You're not saying I need help with anything else. Then you would be good joining the Home Care Millionaire Society. Just join maybe the Diamond Club level so that you can get your monthly Zoom, and then you get more things curated for you, right? If you need marketing and operations and a little bit more hand holding and accountability, you need to join the Next Step program. So one of my mentees in Florida, she is an ADP provider, and she has this homemaker companion agency on the side. And she didn't know she's trying to operate them both, but she was trying to operate one the same way that she was operating the other. And she needed a mentor that she can actually talk to and ask questions to and be like, do this, do this, do this. And that's the accountability. The only time I do that kind of step by step in the Diamond Club is going to be on our monthly meeting. Okay, thank you. It's going to be on our monthly meeting. I will gladly do that. So again, if you know that you just need more direction, self-paced, join the Home Care Millionaire Society, but join the Diamond Club if you need more hand holding. If you join the $20.26 level, will you still get good information? Yes. Like I literally posted January, do this week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4. The Diamond Club got a whole blog written for them in addition to that. And then they would have did their audit last night, and the last thing is going to be going out maybe tomorrow, again having to do with the brochure. So then I'm going to send them a brochure template, which is what I wanted to go over in the Zoom. If you need help with operations, then you should do the Next Step. If you are not licensed at all, then you would join the Home Care Kickstarter program. If you're not licensed at all, you would join the Home Care Kickstarter program. Why? Because that one comes with policies, procedures, and forms. If you're already licensed, I'm assuming you have policies, procedures, and forms. But here's the thing, guys, and I got to give it a go. Hey, how are you, Sunshine? Okay. Again, let me paint this picture for you. Let me do my Picasso. I am you 20 years ago. Yes, I started my first home care agency, home health care agency in 2006. I knew nothing. I was not a nurse. I knew nothing about the home care industry, let alone I started a skilled agency. So I had to learn all of these diagnoses, all of these terminology, what nurses can do, what nurses cannot do. I had to learn billing. I had to learn payroll. I had to learn HR. I had to learn how to market to people in this industry, which was much different than when I was working with stockbrokers. So number one, so with that explanation, be open. Be open to learning. Almost like if you were taking a college course and you signed up for it. You signed up to work on your dreams. So be open. If it doesn't make sense, ask a question. I love questions. The Bible says, in all thy getting, get an understanding. Ask a question. I don't mind breaking it down. Ask a question so I can help you think higher. Think higher. Oh, this is why we got to do it like this, right? Don't get so used to things you've heard or things you've read on social media, because it's not all, they're not telling you the whole thing. They're not telling you the whole thing. I enjoyed the presentation pre-recorded from yesterday, but all right, thank you, Sunshine. And what I just said to Tiara on YouTube is that I really wanted to do a live audit. So if you missed the if you're in the Diamond Club, I am willing, if you send me an email, to still review your up to 2 marketing material. I wanted to do it live so I can really get your questions. Okay. Be open, be teachable, and execute. And execute. Execute, because you don't have time to waste. You don't have time to waste. We spent the first half telling you that people are looking into your industry and they're seeing the opportunities more than you. And that should be a big problem for you, a big red flag, because if anybody should be believing in the potential of your business, it should be you. God gave you this idea, and he's not going to just leave you hanging. But many of you, because there are genuine scammers out here, and guess what? They're on both sides. I've been scammed too. I ain't tell y'all about that. I've been scammed too. People say, plenty of people will say, my mentor or my coach didn't tell me anything. And I personally starting to feel like they're going back and kind of sharing information with the person so that they can now start teaching that. It's just been too many suspicious activities. But with that, be teachable, be open, and execute. Execute fast. Execute fast, guys. All right. I gotta go. Half a day today. Gonna go pick up the kids. Take care.